Ready? Fight.
Test your might.
Mortal Kombat, everyone. It's finally here. As South Australians, this is something we've been waiting for because this is, at the moment, the biggest film ever to be filmed here. That's huge for us.
It is
Humble
absolutely
little
huge.
Adelaide.
Like we personally know quite a few people that work
Quite a
mostly
few.
visual effects,
most of
but
us
yeah.
do, yeah.
So we've seen it. We finally saw Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, we got sent to the preview.
got sent to the
Alex,
preview.
Michael, Brayden,
Christian.
and Chris.
We're all
Hello.
here. We're really excited to talk about it. Let's
Yes,
get
we
straight
are.
into it. Starting with you, Brayden. What were your initial thoughts on Mortal Kombat?
I had an absolute blast. I thought this was exactly how you do a dumb, fun action movie
Yeah.
that is... You're here for the fights, and they understand that, and they give you that.
Yeah.
They're not bogged down in a bunch of explaino crap.
No, they do some explainer crap, but it's so quick. It knows there's a room there clearly for exposition. It knows it's there,
And they don't even use it
Like
for that long.
with all the talking.
No
parts-
spoilers, by the way.
Yeah,
no
no
spoilers.
spoilers.
With the talking parts, they're nice. They do what they need to do. Then you're straight into something else. Like they
Exactly.
don't linger too long. They don't hang around.
100%.
It's great.
We get through it. Yeah.
What about your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts? I had a blast with this movie. I had a grin going to cheek,
Yeah.
pretty much the whole film. Look, there were some issues with it. I'm not going to lie. We'll get into that in a little bit. But at the moment, I had a blast with this movie. It's probably the best video game movie I've ever seen.
Yes,
That is
I'd agree with that one.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about it as a video game. Like I'd separated it so much as a video game thing. Like, I think out of the whole bunch, it could probably, it's 100% up
Yeah,
there.
probably
Jesus.
it's better
like,
than the Tomb Raider film. That came
There's
out
no
years ago.
competition in terms of
No.
video game movies.
Yeah, it's
like,
really
by
not
far,
hard.
Like
It's not
low
hard, but
bar.
yeah.
the others are around. This is a movie.
What about yourself, Chris? What do you think?
Oh, I freaking loved it. Like, we all know I don't like crappy action movies.
Yeah.
This is how you do a crappy action movie.
Exactly.
This
They
is
did
how
it
you
well.
do it.
Like if it's going to be a crappy
Yeah.
action movie, this is how you do it.
Michael.
They knew
I'm-
how to make it because they didn't try and spend too much time on the stuff they didn't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got through it. We
Exactly.
got to the action. That's what we're here for.
I'm with
That's it.
you. Like smile the whole time. It went nice and quick. Did not feel like
Exactly.
hour 50. I like when we got to the end, I was like, oh shit, okay, we're here now.
Yeah.
I checked my watch at one point, and I was ready to be severely disappointed about how little we had left of the film, and I was so happy that we had 40 minutes left.
God damn,
I was like,
yeah.
let's go.
That's excellent.
Yeah. Let's talk about the plot quickly, because there's not much of it.
It's
No,
little.
there
It's
isn't.
little.
It's pretty simple.
It pretty much
It's
just strings
basically
stuff together.
these group of people from Earth have been chosen.
We're bringing on new guy Cole, and he's
yeah.
kind of being
He's
explained everything.
he's
Yep.
MMA
inside to the
fighter.
film. He's there so everyone can explain everything to him, so they can explain it to us.
Exactly. We love this.
Yeah, so basically the plot is these people have a marking on them, and it means they've been chosen to fight in a tournament called Mortal
Sick
Kombat.
burn.
But there's a bad people from the outworld planning to do other things that aren't quite within the regulations of the rules.
No.
No, so that's the plot of Mortal Kombat,
That's
right
it.
there.
Without going
That's
like
all there needs to
all
be.
the little
Yeah.
like the little
Without
details. That's
spoilers and
literally
stuff,
everything.
that's
And-
There's
and-
good guys, there's bad
and
guys.
in between those plots,
there's Mortal Kombat.
a lot of fucking action,
A lot of fights.
a lot of fights. But like we'll get into the fights. I just want to just briefly mention the performances in the film. Like there was some. We'll talk about the standout. Just
stand out in a
minute
sec.
here. But I mean, we do have to mention our main guy, Cole Young, Lewis Tan.
Bit of a,
I
bit
feel
of a
like
wet fish.
this is the first
kinda-
thing,
Yeah.
his major thing he's been in.
It is because I feel really bad about like saying that he wasn't great in the film because
his presence on stage was fine.
yeah,
Like
his
you know what I
social
mean?
him on social media, he's super excited to be in this film.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you not be?
And
My
I'm pretty
God.
sure he got beaten out for Shang-Chi, and he got really upset. So now when he got to do this film, he was really happy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, him with the speaking, not a whole lot.
Yeah.
but
I don't know if it was a writing issue or an acting issue because I don't think his lines were particularly interesting either.
No,
very
I-
straightforward.
it's just
very much.
It's very.
This is me.
I mean, this
is what
doesn't
I'm
have to
Wasn't
experiencing.
much to
dialogue.
do, like, but
Yeah.
like his speaking wasn't overly great, but like once he closed his mouth and actually did like the action stuff,
Yeah.
it was great.
As far
Great
as a presence on
yeah.
screen, he was fine. The action, he did all the moves, like totally good.
But like,
In the start, yes, there's
'Cause
definitely
he's-
a break of the immersion when he's talking. It's just
Yeah.
a bit, but then it's saved by another performance.
Because in the part, he's paired with probably the other weakest actor in the film.
Exactly.
For a
this is when we
solid
notice.
like
Yeah.
minute or so.
Yeah.
And
Sonya
honestly,
Blade.
that's when you notice, and then you
Yeah.
don't notice again because
Yeah.
there's enough great characters on screen.
So that's
Yeah.
just mentioned him. Kano, Josh Lawson is
Josh
Kano.
Lawson, fucking Kano, mate.
he
we might be
fucking nailed it, mate.
We might be a bit biased here because we're Australians, but
Yeah.
he nailed an Australian character in a film.
Yeah.
that token kind of bogan Aussie.
Yeah.
Like he's all about beer, swearing, not giving a fuck. Like he is so funny.
Just his excitement about like a lot of things.
Like he
so
carries
good.
he carries like the comedy side of this very.
He's so funny.
Very, like his lines land and but the thing is like with the American market, it hit me like in the movie. I was like, I wonder how it's going to be perceived because we all know someone that kind of talks like this. Like it's not the Steve-O and crikey sort of thing.
Yeah.
Will
This
an
is, like,
American watch it and be like, they are swearing
but
too
like,
much?
yeah.
Yeah, but
like,
this is like if any Americans watching this review and you just seen the film,
You walk down the
that's-
street.
That's pretty
natural.
good.
Like we
Yeah,
actually
like-
know people that talk like this, like swear a lot,
Yeah.
say like
That is not a
random
put on
stuff.
character.
Yeah.
That's
totally
everyone's got one in the
fine.
family.
The thing
Yeah,
is, I
yeah.
just wonder if the comedy with him,
If it will hit or not.
land, because we know, because obviously we know people that talk like that, and
Oh,
that's
I
how
see,
people
yeah,
around us
yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
And like, so we get the jokes, like what he says. I wonder if that's going to like click. I wonder if that's going to be a big downfall in an international market.
In this cinema though, every word out of his mouth landed.
Yeah,
Everyone
everyone
Yeah.
laughed.
like literally had the whole cinema.
Like the
laughing.
fact that this film brought so much comedic, and this is what I love about like one of the other things I love with the comedy in this film is that a lot of films nowadays they just try to be funny for the sake of being funny.
Yeah.
But this one, there was a character who just brought a lot of energy and a lot of comedy to
Like-
the film, and it didn't stick out.
But like
It fit
that's
the
kind of-
theme.
but it's also like his
Yeah.
character,
Yeah.
and it's just like him. Like the comedy's him
And it's-
reacting to situations and like just what he's saying in circuit, like in things. It's not like a forced joke. He's
very natural.
pushing out to like
watch
break
him-
the room or
It's
anything.
not okay. Kano needs to cut in with a joke. It's very natural.
It's like a natural reaction to
He's
things.
believable as a real human being, but you also look at him and you go, "That's a video game character brought to life."
yeah. So
There's also a bunch of stuff like some of his favorite comedic moments, the stuff he doesn't even say on camera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Little moments.
Like his reactions to everything is amazing.
yeah,
Hey, Alex.
certain
How violent is this movie?
Oh, this movie is all the violent.
All the violent.
All the violent.
all the
The fights in this movie, my dude. God
So,
damn.
like we said before, there's a lot of fights in this movie. No one's going into there's no a single Mortal Kombat fan in the world that's going into Mortal Kombat coming out disappointed
There is not a moment where you're like, oh, I want them to fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're fighting
because they're already fighting.
yeah, like
Even when they're having conversations, they stop midway and fight.
like just think. There's no anticipation of a fight. It's happening. It's there.
It's happening,
the
and
fight
you, like you
there,
see
yeah.
it about to happen. Like
Now that we're
with the
talking
words,
about-
It's like, oh, they're about to fight, and they're fighting.
there's some fighting words.
Now that we're talking about the fighting and the action, I do have a little gripe with it. I thought that some of the fighting scenes probably could have been filmed a little bit better. Like a lot of it was shaky cam and quick cuts.
You've got these incredible martial artists. Why not get a
Well,
nice
some of
shot?
them.
Some of them.
Some of them.
But you've got these amazing martial artists. Let them do the work.
And they did that with the opening fight between the two.
Yeah,
They're
that's
actual
true.
martial artists, so they were.
That was full on.
And you're watching it and you're getting these kind of extended shots where you're like, fuck, they're doing a lot in this one shot.
I mean, to be fair, like a lot of the fights are taking place in a closed area, so they're and I feel like some of these quick cuts are because like things are happening and they're like body to body. So,
You're
like,
not
to
getting a
get
good angle.
just so you can see what's happening.
On
It
the
has
right
to cut
hook.
quickly, but it is a bit jarring.
Yeah, so there's one fight in particular that I thought I couldn't see a lot of things.
Yeah.
I was a bit confused on what was happening,
Mm.
but like I was brought back into it because of how cool the movie was. And fatalities, they're in the film and they're bloody as hell.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
I
Like-
don't know. You even forgot it was coming, and then when it came, you're like,
was just
yes.
like-
wasn't
It was
It
happening in a
was
moment
like-
you weren't expecting it to happen in until
Yeah.
you saw a certain action,
And
and you're like,
they-
"Oh, it's coming! It's coming! Oh, there it is!"
And they didn't overkill it too.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
a big problem. I was
It
thinking-
wasn't every fight.
I thought that maybe in every fight they were just gonna go, here's a fatality, bang. Like,
And you weren't, you weren't expecting it.
No.
Like you weren't going like, okay, here's the real gory bit. Like when it happened, it
but,
was
like,
natural
even,
and it
but
felt
like
good.
even
Like-
a couple of them, they did like fatalities, but they weren't like the overly gruesome ones. Like you know,
Yeah.
no one's like spines being like ripped out and like
That
their
would've been
body
cool.
like
We didn't get it- we didn't
flayed
get
or
Where was the
something.
babality?
Slight spoiler, they didn't do the like rip your head off with your spinal cord hanging out.
Yeah.
We do get some other really cool ones.
Someone
though.
did mention
But-
doing that.
But what I did like with the gore, it was exactly what I wanted. It was like wasn't over the top where I'm like, you know, every time it happened, I was
Throwing
like, it was like
Dude,
thinking
there
it's too
was
excessive.
some fights and some parts in the fights where I went, this is straight out the video game and in the best way possible.
Yeah, like there was some moves you could like tell, and it's like, yeah, that's straight from
Yeah.
the video game. But like even with like, you know, it wasn't like, you know, guts spilling out everywhere. But like with every hit, there was a bit of blood coming out, and like every stab, there's a little bit of blood flying out. But it's like,
Oh, yeah.
that's what's happened like in the game. Like there was
That's Mortal Kombat.
there was
That's
no
Yeah,
point
yeah.
where they're like trying to overdo like the blood and the gore and everything.
Yeah.
Like it was to the game and exactly what I expected.
And yeah, surprising the part you think is not going to work in real life compared to the game is, you know, he's going to get stabbed 3 times and then he's going to continue fighting.
It works.
How did they do it in the film? It doesn't. There's no moment where you're like, oh,
He should be
how's
dead.
he should be dead.
Yeah.
Like somehow there are no rules.
Yeah.
And they follow the rules. Like
So yeah, I mean, before we quickly end this and we move on to spoilers, which will be in a different video, I was very happy with the performances from Kung Lao and Liu Kang.
Oh my god.
Oh yes, we didn't mention them.
They
Brilliant.
They
They have a great
represent
comedic chemistry too in a
They're-
dinner in
yeah.
a certain dinner scene.
their video game characters. I don't know how they did it, but the casting of those two was somehow perfect.
Yeah.
Like both of them, like not to get into spoilers, but the moment you're actually meeting one of them, you're like, oh my god, this feels like them. And then you meet the other one, you're like, oh my god, this
Yes.
feels like both of them. It's amazing.
Yes.
And they just had such like presence, and it starts. You know, we get Sonya, we get Cole.
Yeah.
They're there.
And then they come
They're
up with,
new
like-
characters. Then we get Kano, and he's
Steals
living
the show.
game. Then we get Liu King living the game character, and the final one, what's his name? Sorry.
Kung
Lao.
Kung Lao.
Yeah.
Oh, he's living the game. Like,
man.
we love Kung Lao. Like, yeah.
So everyone, before we move to spoilers, do we have a score out of 5? Michael?
3.5, absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brayden?
Big love heart. Me as the more passionate one, generally all the time. 4. This thing was fucking great.
Chris?
It gets 3.5 because obviously, as all films
Yeah.
rating, but this is an awesome film.
Yeah. Absolutely. 3.5 out of me. I'm very much with you too. I do see why Braden's giving it 4. And honestly, I can see in the future me pushing it to a 4.
I was going to say,
I could.
Knowing how much you're also into the games
Yeah.
and having played them before, I'm surprised you're not giving it a 4. But I
It's just that, but I'm also into movies, and I can,
Yeah,
and
you can
you
see
know,
where
I
this-
have to rate it fairly
Yeah.
with other films. But honestly, other than just maybe some weaker performances,
Yeah.
and the plot overall, and kind of getting a bit messy towards the end of the film.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and I had a super great time with it. And I really hope that if you can go to a cinema and safely see the film, absolutely do, because the sound, the
Oh my god,
fights,
the music! Quick shout out to the music. They do an excellent job of like giving a new modern twist to the original,
They
like
do,
95 and the original theme. Like they throw in some dubstep and stuff, but like it's also throughout the whole score
When
in
it's
like a real
coming
hidden
in,
way.
yeah.
And then when it comes in, it feels like such a moment. Oh yeah, I love the music. It was
You
great.
notice it's not the dun dun dun,
Yeah.
but like you're.
but then
it's
it
awesome.
creeps in sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. But it's fun.
Yeah,
And
that was.
if you can, definitely support the SA
Yeah,
film.
absolutely.
Because
Film
for
Australia.
for like probably the biggest film that's come out of SA is
Yeah.
pretty damn good. So
Yeah,
please give
eat
them
your
some
heart
love.
out, Daniel Radcliffe, South African
Screw
escape
you,
movie.
Wolf Creek.
So yes, everyone, please check out Mortal Kombat and drop a like below. You can follow us on everything. We'll have all of that in descriptions. And we're saying that I'm Alex.
I'm Michael.
I am Brayden.
Christian.
Finish him.
Finish it. Fail-tality.
Flawless victory.